Postecoglou is a manager that likes his teams to play high-octane fluid football by using short passes to penetrate the opposition's defence. His Celtic team averaged 629 short passes per game last season. Of course, this is in a league where Celtic are expected to dominate games. Postecoglou favours a 4-3-3 formation with an emphasis on keeping possession. His team prefer to play through the lines and keep the ball on the ground. So what can Tottenham expect from Postecoglou? I've picked 2 games against Rangers and 1 against Aberdeen, as these are the only teams that currently offer a challenge to Celtic. In possession, as with any team that like to dominate possession, his teams play out from the back through the centre-backs, who will bring the ball up to the press against a team that sits deep in a mid or low block. His team is able to control the spaces because his wingers are pushed up on the opposition's fullbacks, while the striker is occupying the centre-backs. As we can see, Celtic will often invert one of their fullbacks, usually the left back, and this has 2 purposes. In that one, it allows Celtic to control the centre of the park by creating a box midfield and outnumbering the opposition. And the second is that, as we can see here, the wide player has had to come inside to make up the numbers, and this then opens up space for a direct pass to the winger for a one-on-one against the fullback. The team are patient in their build-up, but when they see an opportunity to hit the wingers early and get the ball behind the back line, they will look to do so. When the opposition press with 2, one of the fullbacks will take up a position in the defensive line to provide a passing option, and then look to move into the midfield when there's an opportunity. And the fullbacks are one of the keys to Postecoglou's system. Another key to Postecoglou's teams are the roles of the number 8s, the attacking midfielders, as it is these that are responsible for creating overloads and occupying the half spaces when attacking. So when the ball goes out to the wingers, who are hugging the touchline, this is the trigger for the number 8s to get into the half spaces between the centre-back and full-back and try to create an advantage. Postecoglou's 4-3-3 takes on a regular build-up shape of 2-3-2-3 in the early phase, but he doesn't ask his players to stick to these spots. He encourages them to run with the ball, as this will create spaces for teammates, and it will create havoc for the opposition's defence. His fluid system means that he likes his wide players, the wingers, to be able to cut inside to shoot, or go on the outside to cross the ball. For this reason, he will switch his wingers from game to game, or even during a game. He doesn't ask his wingers to loft balls into the box. Instead, he asks them to make low crosses, or this could be deemed passes into the box. The signing of Japanese player Kyogo Furuhashi shows that he wants a technical centre forward who can find spaces in the box and link up play. His team won't send hopeful balls into the box. Instead, his team will be happy to rotate the ball back to the centre backs to begin the build-up phase once again. In the Premiership, his Celtic team averaged 72.5% possession last season, although this was only 43.8% in the Champions League. The interesting thing with Postecoglou's Celtic is that they will look to dominate the centre of the pitch with inverted fullbacks and centre forwards dropping into these spaces. But this is only to attract the opposition and in turn create spaces on the flanks for a pass to a winger to stretch the opposition's defence. And as we said before, this is the trigger for the attacking midfielders to take up positions in the half spaces. In the final third, the ball is rotated in front of the defensive block, looking for the perfect pass into the opposition's box, looking to exploit the inside channels. The front 5 players look to create space behind the back line, as one player moves towards the ball, dragging a defender with him and creating space. The attacking midfielder sees the opportunity to take up a position behind the back line. Postecoglou's players are constantly moving. There is now space for the winger to come inside and to play a pass between the centre-backs. In the attacking third, his team target the half spaces by overloading with the fullback, attacking midfielders and the winger, as his team look to get to the byline and get a low cross into the box. Much the same as a Guardiola team or a Xavi team, the difference is that Postecoglou is doing this with a lower pedigree of player. And much the same as these teams, if the perfect pass is not on, his team is happy to recycle the ball back and start again with the centre-backs in order to find space that can hurt the opposition. and maybe this is why his team managed 114 goals in the Premiership last season. When the opposition line up with a back 4 and play short, Celtic press with 5, their front 3 become a 2. These 2 attackers cut off passes into the centre midfield. Then the forward nearest the defender, who receives the ball, will press, making sure that he cuts off a pass inside and forces a pass to a fullback. The wide attacker then presses the fullback into making a quick pass, but hopes that the fullback passes back to a centre back or the keeper, where the 2 forwards are waiting to press and win the ball back in a very dangerous area. They are then forced into a hurried long pass where Celtic stand a good chance of winning the ball back. So Postecoglou at Spurs. This is a great appointment for Spurs, as he is a manager that demands that his team have possession and play short combination passes to progress the ball into the opposition's third. His team play fast, attractive football that Spurs fans have been craving for the past few seasons, with a proven track record of improving teams and winning titles wherever he's been. There's no doubt that he will improve Spurs. The only question is, can he win silverware in a league that is so competitive? The answer to that might be in whether or not he can bring in the type of players he needs.